So, hello. I don't do that until I do the meeting, right? Hello? 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 Can you hear me, Joe? Um, I need everybody's attention, please. We will now begin the session, and we always start with an invocation and then the pledge. Mr. Hart, would you mind doing the invocation?
Yes, ma'am. Let us pray. Lord, Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day, Lord. We thank you for the rain we have received. We thank you for the citizens gathered here. We thank you for our process that we go through to set the budget and make other decisions. Lord, be with us as we make these decisions. In Jesus' name, we all say,
Amen. And we'll stand, and Mr. Askew, will you take us through the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I now call to order the regular meeting of the Walker County Board of Commissioners this day, July 9th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. in Lafayette, Georgia. Mrs. Clerk, please take roll and establish a quorum.
Commissioner Blakemore,
Present.
Commissioner Askew,
Here.
Chairwoman Teams.
Here.
Commissioner Hart,
Here.
and Commissioner Wilson.
Here.
Thank you. There is a need for me to amend this agenda. Two items under the new business have not been returned by our county attorney's office, thus I need to remove item 16.2, and which is the comprehensive financial policy, and 16.3, the policy prohibiting employees from participating in the purchase of county surplus properties. Since these are not available for discussion tonight, I ask the board to approve my motion by giving me a second to remove these from the agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Hart. Any discussion from the board about those two items being removed? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right, all are in favor of approving the agenda with the amendment. Thank you. I will add that the financial policy will contain a section relating to the vehicle fringe benefit and pertinent IRS code regulations. So hopefully we'll have that ready for next month's agenda. Now we need to talk about the minutes. We had 5 meetings during June, and they included the regular meeting, 3 work sessions, and a special called meeting. It was a busy month in June. Unless there is a question or comment that needs to be made about those minutes, I'll make the motion to approve all of these minutes together as one. Does the board have any comment about that before I ask for a second? I'll just go ahead and ask for comment now. Okay, can I have a second for that motion?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Askew. Any comments, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right, motion passes with all voting aye or yes to approve the minutes from the 5 board meetings held in June. Okay. Now, this is a section where I talk about what's been going on in my world and give a little information. Just first, good evening and welcome to our July board meeting. Thank you for joining us and for the opportunity to serve as your Walker County Commission Chair. In the recent weeks, I have held town hall sessions throughout Walker County. It was an opportunity for me to listen and learn and to share information on the actions that your county government is taking and the problems that exist in our county. It also helps me to assists us as your elected leaders and operational managers to make better and more informed decisions based on what the public wants or expects. When you elected me as the chairwoman of Walker County Commission, my vision was the county that operated more smoothly and more efficiently and effectively, doing the right thing in the right way. A commitment to make positive changes across the county by reducing waste, increasing revenue, upgrading technology, and providing the best, most responsive service possible. These actions focus on sustainability, built into the structure of how we operate every day. Results do matter. In Walker County, we are seeing improved financial strength, investments in infrastructure and services, upgrading parks, and completing finished and finishing projects that were unfinished before, and greater transparency for public trust. Don't be swayed by false advertising and propaganda intended to distract from the good things that are truly happening in Walker County. For the first time in over a decade, improvements take time, and they are happening now. I've been in office for 18 months, and so much has happened that it takes too long to describe. But I have a list of key pillars of excellence that is on our website that you can look at to see what has been accomplished. And we'll list goals for the next coming year. Our mission is to deliver high-quality service with integrity and respect while responsibly managing our public resources. In the town halls, I provided details about those key initiatives and the 6 pillars of excellence. Transparency is one of those pillars. The following are highlights from the recent town halls. The first one, tourism. It's a major economic driver in our county, generating new revenue, providing jobs, and holding down our local taxes. For example, tourism revenue saved an estimated $137 for each household in Walker County. Our areas of history and outdoor recreation, those bring people here. That come here and they spend money. We're known for hiking, rock climbing, caving, and fabulous waterfalls. The travel sector supports almost 450 jobs, generates $3.6 million in state and local tax revenue. Roads are how we connect with each other. It's very important to understand how the roads are designated state or local county roads. That was another topic that was talked about in the town halls. State roads are designated by state route numbers and have a symbol that is a state symbol. GDOT handles maintenance and safety improvements on those roads. County roads connect communities in more rural residential areas. Those are local street names, not numbers, usually. And our county public works department handles the maintenance on those county roads, and they do a fantastic job. And I want to say one thing, that when we had those past storms in the last weekend or so, they were out there in pouring down rain, lightning, thunder, and picking up trees and limbs. So I appreciate them very much for what they do. There is essentially a vegetable soup when referring to our special local taxes. So that seems to be always one thing we need to talk about because it's so confusing. These local state sales tax combined with the state's 4% tax funds community involvement improvements. Each one requires voter approval and are set at 1 cent and have clearly defined rules of usage. We currently have 3 special local taxes: SPLOST for capital purchases, T-SPLOST for paving and road repair, and LOST, which is collected and distributed to Walker County and our local cities to hold down property taxes. Another concern was raised about the increased animal dumping in rural areas. The new spay and neuter ordinance was implemented in Walker County to curb overpopulation. We have a dedicated dispatch for both animal services and control, and that information can be found on our website or by calling my office. The animal shelter actively works on pet adoptions and transfers to local rescue services. Our goal is to reduce the budget by reducing the number of animals that need shelter, medicine, and adoption. And the last thing I'll point out, because there's many more to talk about, but we don't have time, the concerns raised about the recent influx of data centers in parts of North Georgia, and to consider developing economic impact statements for new or expanded business opportunities and review the process of selling surplus county property. Both of these topics will be talked about later in this meeting. We are listening to the public. As we look ahead, there may be new ways we approach some initiatives when compared to how things were previously done. I realize change can lead to questions, and sessions like town halls are designed for open conversations and exchange of ideas. My town halls ranged from 10 people to 30, and I was very pleased with those numbers. So thanks to everyone that came out. My door is always open to anyone who wants to receive and understand the facts being considered that may lead to commission decisions. I highly encourage you to find out the facts for yourself and not buy into fake book. If no one asks me directly about a topic, then I don't know who or what to address to correct the misadvertisement of information. The best government is the one that engages with its citizens. My commitment is to be responsible and manage the tax dollars appropriately with transparency, focusing on ensuring today's decisions and investments lead to a better future for Walker County. Thank you for your time. All right, we'll move on now to the financial report, and I will invite our CFO, Christian Roach, to the podium.
Good evening, citizens and commissioners. Today I'm going to go over April 30th, 2026. So this is the fiscal year, which includes 7 months. So far, our target is 58.33%. Our revenues to date are $29,795,774.03, which is 78.83% of budget. Year-to-date expenditures are $21,995,000 $316.35, which is 58.19% of yearly expectations. That is all for April. Do y'all have any questions for me on April?
No, sir.
Okay, thanks very much.
Of course, thank you.
Appreciate that. All right, next we have a department report. I'll invite Detention Officer Michael Green to the podium. Hello. Hello. Michael Green, Detention Officer Green is going to discuss the production of our litter crew.
Good evening. My name is Officer Green, as she has said. I also go by Butterbean. I would like to thank the commissioners for letting me come and present the update for the Walker County litter crew. I have worked for Walker County Sheriff's Department for the past 3.5 years. May of this year, I took over the litter control in the county. I have 4 inmates that we go and pick up trash on all the county roads Monday through Friday. They walk anywhere between 7 to 8 miles a day, picking up trash in the county, including but not limited to wallets, knives, drug paraphernalia, which we do turn into DTF, or we call if we have any kind of discrepancy of what is out there. Tools and a lot of Polar cups and gray water tanks, still with the stuff inside of them. Every day is somewhere different. We're never on the same road day after day, so we'll pick up and then we'll leave and come back to it at a later date. I receive calls from the county barn along with the county landfill to go pick up items that citizens have called in. This is called hotspots. We have seen tires, couches, mattresses, and even a snake aquarium with no snakes in it.
Thank goodness.
At this time, I would like to go over some stats of what we have done in the past few months. You can look up on the TV and see. This is stats from April the 23rd to July the 2nd. The calendar year in 2022, there were 74,000 pounds of trash picked up. In calendar year of 2023, there was 26,220 pounds of trash. In calendar year of 2024, there was 111,220 pounds of trash collected. In calendar year of 2025, there was 64,520. The calendar year to date for 2026, for the last 5 months, we have had 44,330 pounds of trash so far. Calendar year to date is projected that we will probably wind up with about 88,660 pounds of trash. So if you'll look on the side right here where it says April the 23rd through July the 2nd, you'll see some other stats. These guys, they are walking 735 miles since I have took over. They also have picked up 27,690 pounds of trash, which equals up to 13.84 tons. We have traveled 139 roads in the past couple months. We've picked up 130 tires, 8 mattresses and box springs, and 10 couches and love seats. At this time, if you have any questions for me, I would like to answer them for you.
Do you have the same inmates pretty much every day? You said you had 4.
I do. As of right now, we'll have and since I've been doing this, I've had a total of 7 because they either get out or they get striped out by doing something bad.
You get 4 per day though.
Yes, sir.
And who designates the roads that you go through the road department, through Carl and Bobby?
Well, through them or just me myself.
Okay.
And a lot of times I work kind of like in a grid so that people can also see us in the community. Like this past couple of days, the grid has been around the backside of Chickamauga, Chattanooga Valley, and Rossville area. Last week I was around Old Lee School Road and Car Rent and Kemp Road. And then I've also dropped in weeks before, I'll be like over on Camp Road, Kensington Road, and going out towards there. I have went over to Villanelle a couple of times just to hit a lot of them roads. And so I bounce around. And why we do this is I don't want them to go back and tell their families that, hey, we're on Garrett's Chapel Road, and we're going to be back there tomorrow because we didn't finish.
Yeah.
So that eliminates families coming to see the inmates or dropping stuff off in the ditches.
I think it's super helpful that the sheriff's office stepped up to help the county in that manner. So thank you for what you do.
Yeah, thank
And everyone appreciates having a beautiful county. I just hope the people who litter will stop and you'll be out of a job. No, just kidding. I'm sure there's other things Sheriff Wilson has you doing, but this is very helpful. So thank you.
And also, if you are a citizen out there, I mean, I know sometimes we're in the way of whenever people are trying to get to and from, but also remember that's a heart and soul out there, and you don't need to be flying past them by 35, 40
Very
miles.
good point.
miles
That's
an hour.
right. Let's keep them safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank y'all for your time, and I hope y'all have a great afternoon.
Good job. Okay, we'll move on to the first public hearing, which is on the 2027 fiscal year budget. I got a little thing I need to read to you guys, so pay attention. This is an opportunity for the public to speak and ask questions specifically regarding the preparation of the 2027 budget. It is not the public comment section, which will come later in the meeting. I wish to make it clear that no decisions are being made by the board tonight. The purpose of tonight's hearing is to listen to the public, especially from the taxpayers. Every option is being carefully evaluated, including the option of not increasing taxes. I will defer to the Board of Commissioners to determine whether a response is appropriate to any question or comment raised during this hearing. Do not plan to respond to questions because of the fact that discussions are still being held with the board, and it would be premature to suggest that any particular course of action has been decided. Christian and I will continue working with the board over the next coming weeks to provide additional information and budget options for the board's consideration. My responsibility is to present the available budget options and provide the information to the board so they can make informed decisions. The Board of Commissioners will determine the final budget through its vote. If the vote results in a tie, I will cast the deciding vote as authorized. It is planned that the final 2027 budget will be adopted at the August 6th meeting. Then my responsibility turns from being the chairwoman to managing the approved budget in the day-to-day operations of the county government. We ask if there is a group of people wanting to speak on the same subject, you elect one representative. Each person will have 5 minutes, and I will be strict on that 5-minute rule tonight, so please accept when I say your time is up. All right, so I'm opening the floor now, so whoever wants to come up to the podium is welcome. Please give us your name and your address. Who would like to be first on the public hearing of the budget preparation?
I'm gonna be quick, I'll take less than 5 minutes. Melissa Halsey, just a few questions on, and Christian, I don't know if it's appropriate for you to answer these, but in general, if we have specific questions about the budget after tonight as we're going through it, what is the appropriate protocol to ask those questions between now and August 6th?
An open records request, but I'm telling you, we may not have the answer because until the board hears and listens to everything, there's just nothing.
But that would be the appropriate way to communicate?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And then again, public hearing comments at August 6th meeting. So we'll have this again then.
Okay. Second thing is on page 7 of the budget, under option 1, department request, we have budget revenue and then we have budget expense, which is an amount of $50,449,000. Is it possible to get a breakdown of that line item, that budget expense?
If you make an open records request, we will try.
Okay, thank you. And the third question, my final question, is on page 14 of the budget. Under technical contract services, it is the account ending in 1300.95. We had a fiscal year amended budget amount of $816,000. We have a first 6-month actual of $2.4 million. We have a projected 2026 year end of $4.8 million, which is a full $4 million over budget. Is there an explanation for that overage?
Nope. We don't have enough information on that yet. I think we'll do our best to do it if you do it in open records.
Okay, I'll do that. And then second, and then to follow up on that same subject, there's a proposed budget of 2027 for $750,000, which is again less than what was the amended in 2026, and a full 4.1 million of the less than the 2026 expenditure. So I can assume I could ask that in open records as
Yes.
well?
Yep.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, please? Again, say your name and where you live.
Got a handout for y'all. My name is Shannon Whitfield, and I live in the Chickamauga community. And everything that's on this paper tonight, I have actually pulled from the Georgia County Government Handbook, 5th edition, that was put out by the Carl Vinson Institute of Government. So I know one of the challenges that the board's working on is about funding for the fire department. And I know y'all will do the best you can and make the right decision on at what level you should fund the fire department. My concern tonight is about double taxation for the fire department. So I'm going to read this so everybody here can hear this. Service delivery strategy to eliminate double taxation, which is on page 477 of this book. The strategy must ensure that the cost of any service provided by the county, primarily for the benefit of the county's unincorporated area, example, fire service or solid waste collection, is borne by the residents, individuals, and property owners who benefit from the service. Funding for such service must come either from a special service district, which in our case is your public safety fee, created by the county, in which the property taxes, insurance premium tax, assessments, or user fees are levied or imposed, or through any other mechanism agreed upon by the affected parties that will eliminate double taxation of municipal property owners. If a county and one or more of the cities jointly fund a countywide service, which is our case because the city of Chickamauga is part of the service, the strategy must ensure that the county's share of such funding is borne by the residents, individuals, or property owners in the unincorporated area who benefit from this service. So every 10 years in the state of Georgia, every county meets with their cities and comes up with a strategic delivery of services. 4 of the cities within Walker County have elected to maintain their own fire service at their choice. And so that's where years ago, when Roy Parrish was commissioner, he put a countywide system together that included the unincorporated area plus the city of Chickamauga. So under public safety under Special Service District, i.e. our public safety fee found on page 41, the Georgia Constitution also authorizes counties to create special districts for the provision of county services. The services offered through a special district may be paid for in whole or in part by special fees, assessments, or additional mills levied only within the district. For instance, counties that do not provide fire service throughout the county may create a special tax district to do so for smaller geographical areas in which the service is provided, and that is the case here in Walker County and has been since Roy Parish. Property owners within a special tax district pay additional fees or taxes to fund the service beyond what they pay in the general county taxes. There has been some conversation about the insurance premium tax. Why can that not be used? So on page 406, a tax of 1% is levied on the life insurance companies based on gross direct premiums on policies of personal residents within the unincorporated area of the county. The tax is collected by the Georgia Commissioner of Insurance and dispersed on a population ratio basis. County revenues from the life insurance premium must be utilized in a certain way. Proceeds are to be spent for police, excluding the sheriff, and fire protection, solid waste collections and curb, sidewalks, street lights, or any other services provided primarily to the inhabitants of the unincorporated area. Any revenue remaining after the unincorporated services are paid must be used to roll back property taxes of unincorporated property owners. In essence, state law requires that counties use insurance tax premium to benefit the unincorporated residents and property owners. Municipalities also receive a pro rata share of insurance premium tax revenue, and the city residents get the portion of that tax through their city. So that's what's been taking place in Walker County. That's why you have a millage rate for unincorporated parts of the county and incorporated areas, is because you have that extra rollback of your insurance premium tax. So you're already using those funds. Some will say, well, but we have cities that may not be able to put out a fire. They don't have enough staff, enough equipment to put out a fire, so we need to have a bigger system to protect them. And that's why you have a mutual aid agreement or automatic aid agreements. Mutual aid agreements are usually based on a you help us, we help you relationship in which two or more
Your time is up.
governmental units provide supplemental
Your time
emergency
is up.
service.
Thank you.
I would ask for
Next.
Commissioner to allow me to speak and finish up my last two paragraphs.
I've said earlier, I'll be very strict with his 5 minutes, so we have a lot of people that want to talk
Yeah,
tonight.
but a commissioner can allow a speaker to speak.
The chair has that right. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, and I have extra copies if anybody would like some. Thank y'all.
Who else would like to speak tonight? Remember to tell us your name and where you're from.
Jamie Hulsey, Chickamauga, off 341. I have a comment related to budget. I have a comment related to transparency, as you so well described yourself, that I know you've met with district or your department heads many times. Please God, he did. It's amazing to me in a public hearing to be transparent in public, to identify a budget that's 4 million over that was less than $1 million before, and your immediate answer is, I don't know.
When did I say that?
After my wife got up and questioned the IT budget.
I didn't
was
say I
4
didn't
million.
know. I said
You
we
said, "I don't know."
We're not prepared to answer that
But a
question
general
tonight.
idea, why? That's not transparency. We're in a public hearing.
Well, of course,
That's a big difference.
These are you go. You
I'm just saying
continue,
the
because I don't want to take up your
conflict of
5 minutes. So go ahead.
Huh?
I don't want to take up your 5 minutes. So go ahead.
I'm not gonna be here 5 minutes.
Okay.
I just want to recognize the public hearing and transparency and make a comment on something that is pretty legitimate and stands out as the $4 million overage on IT. And you can't answer it.
We can if it's.
But you
asked
just said, I don't
appropriate.
know
If
immediately
it's-
after she asked.
Okay, I apologize for saying that. That's
Okay.
not what I meant.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's next? Yes, sir.
Robbie Tate, I live in District 3. I stand before you tonight to make an unusual request and one that you're not going to believe. But I'm here to ask you to raise the millage rate. And before I'm ran out of here on a rail, let me explain. I ask this not to fund a drastic increase in the proposed county budget, but to prevent a potentially dangerous scenario from occurring. As we prepare to finalize the 2027 fiscal budget, we must immediately eliminate our reliance on the fire service fee. This is in stark contrast to one of the proposals made by the county CFO, who suggested that one viable option to reduce the general fund subsidy to the fire department was to increase the public safety fee and revise its structure to collect more from commercial properties. Recent rulings by Georgia courts have established a dangerous legal precedent striking down mandatory fire fees in numerous jurisdictions as unconstitutional hidden taxes. Of particular significance is a ruling in a case in Chatham County. And for those of you who want to look it up, the docket number is SPCV 23-00211. In that case, which is under appeal, Chatham County was ordered to pay back nearly $27 million in principal and over $3 million on interest, what was determined to be an unconstitutionally collected tax. Several other jurisdictions have settled or are in litigation related to fire service fees, which includes Walker County, who was sued in 2023 by 3 Walker County residents. The case number for that action is 23 SUCV 0680. The plaintiffs in that case are represented by the same law firm which represented the plaintiffs in the Chatham County case. It is no coincidence that the same firm represents 9 of 11 plaintiffs who filed cases related to fire service fees in the state of Georgia. It should be noted that the judge in the case involving Walker County issued a stay and postponement in the class certification hearing until after the Georgia Supreme Court issues its decision in the case of Chatham County versus Smith, which is an appeal filed following the ruling against Chatham County. The issuance of the stay in the Walker County case suggests, at least to me, that the judge sees the merits of the case as being similar and will rely on the ruling of the Georgia Supreme Court when determining how to proceed in the case pending against Walker County. Should the Georgia Supreme Court uphold the ruling of the lower court in Chatham County, that could have a significant financial impact on Walker County and its taxpayers. The Georgia Supreme Court has yet to schedule a date for oral arguments, and the date of the last filing in the case was in April. In addition to the outcome of the Chatham County case, precedent in another case, Hutchins versus Howard, which dates back to 1955, the Georgia Supreme Court's decision cited Article 7, Section 1, Paragraph 3 of the Constitution of 1945, which provides in part that taxation on real and tangible property subject to be taxed is required to be ad valorem, that is, according to value. And the requirements in the Constitution that the rule of taxation shall be uniform means that all kinds of property of the same class, not absolutely exempt, must be taxed alike by the same standard of valuation, equally with all other taxable property of the same class and coextensively with the territory to which it applies, meaning the territory from which the given tax as a whole is to be drawn. Therefore, assessing property charges on any metric other than value violates the uniform taxation clauses. Thus, a general revenue tax like our fire service fee must be assessed uniformly based on the fair market value of the property and not based on a flat rate or the square footage of the buildings. Flat rate or square footage assessments fail to factor in actual value, use, or unique characteristics of the land are contrary to the decision in Hutchins. In 2023, documents on the official Walker County website estimated the fire service fee would generate about $5.45 million. Given the fact that property assessments have increased dramatically since that time and based on the current budget proposal, I'll just skip ahead. Right now, we've collected more than $24 million in fire service fees, and this doesn't represent uncollected property fees in 2026 on the second half. So funding for emergency service through a vulnerable fire fee or public safety fee could expose Walker County to a potentially devastating class action lawsuit, forced taxpayer refunds, and subject budget collapse. To protect our county's financial stability and maintain public trust, we must transition from fire department funding to the legally and sound judicially protected general fund through a transparent millage rate. The ongoing litigation in Georgia proves that local governments cannot circumvent constitutional constraints on property taxation by simply labeling a revenue generator as a service fee. Moving forward, unless the Georgia General Assembly explicitly legislates a
Time's up,
constitutional...
thank you. Who else is next?
Thank you,
Who's
Robin.
next? Please state your name and where you're from.
Ed Fleener, live over on 151. As you work on the budget, as departments come into whomever, do you really sit down, and I know they bring their budget to you, they tell you what you need, but do you go over all the excess? Have they utilized everything they've gotten? And, it's like I go past the tag office. We've got so many vehicles sitting up there paying insurance, we're paying taxes, we're paying everything on them. But when I call about the assessment of my property, I find out there's only 7 people actually goes out of the assessment office to look at property assessed. So there's double, if not that many more vehicles sitting there that I hardly ever see moved. Now, the sheriff's department, I just come into town, passed over here, and I ain't never seen so many vehicles sitting in their back lot there. Do you govern or do you go over what they have already and what their needs are?
I'll give you an explanation about the constitutional officers. They are by law their own entity. This board oversees their budget, but we don't dictate it. So we try to manage it the best we can, and they do a very good job, actually, I believe, in managing what they need and the resources that we're able to give them. I hope that helps explain that a little bit.
So you don't ask them questions about the excess vehicles they may have?
Sure we do. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I thought you just said you can't dictate what they do with it. Or
It doesn't mean I don't ask questions.
you don't ask
It
questions?
doesn't mean that I don't ask questions. I do ask questions.
But do you go and look? Do you actually look, when they bring that budget to you, do you actually sit down with that individual and
Yes,
say,
we have.
okay, let's look over your inventory, let's look over everything?
We sure do. Yep.
I-
We've
well,
spent hours, hundreds of hours in the last 2 months.
I think
going
we've got a
over it.
lot of oversight and waste in this county.
Yeah,
I've
we're
been here
work-
since
we're working on it.
'96.
We're working on it.
Well, not very good, I'll be honest with you.
I'm sorry, we disagree.
Well, I've governed budgets before, and we sat down, and if they have no need for that, they don't get it. We've got excess. We pay taxes, we pay insurance on all these vehicles, fire department, same way. I think we need some government oversight. Bad.
Do the commissioners want to respond to that?
They won't.
I will.
Okay.
I will. We do, every one of us, I've got a copy here that all of us look through it and try our best to communicate with the departments ourselves in conjunction with the chair and our CFO to try to, and that's exactly what we're still doing now. That's why we don't have anything to really talk about tonight, because we're still trying to cut money to get down to where we need to be. But it's not just a spendthrift throwing money around. I don't know, and I don't know how long you said you'd been here. When did you say you moved here?
96.
96. So
And I've seen a lot.
well, sure you have, and you've seen the
I've been to a lot of tax meetings too.
Well, sure you have, and you've seen, and obviously you like the county because you're still here.
Well, I
Well,
got one more year. But I still fight for whomever.
yeah. Well, I just wanted to assure you that
Yeah.
we do actively take a part in trying to reduce any wasteful spending that we can.
All right, what about the vehicle? Let's just, for instance, the vehicle sets up tag office there. Do you go in there and say, okay, how many vehicles do we really need? Can we utilize 2 or 3 people use the same vehicle? Because they're not all gone every day.
That's true.
Have you done that?
No, I've not gone in there and asked.
That should.
No, I
You
haven't.
should.
Well, I'll be glad to.
That's what I'm asking. You should go over there. Okay, you said you got this inventory of 20 vehicles. Do we really need this many? There's a burden in this county. I'm on a fixed income burden, even with the fire fees and everything else. I get excess value again this year. My property goes up. Yeah, I mean, it needs to be some city oversight.
You mean county oversight?
Well, county, yeah, government.
Yes, sir.
I think you, as chair, needs to do a little bit more. You do. You govern us. Y'all serve us. We don't serve you. We elected you
That
to
we
serve
agree
us.
on. I do agree on that. And I'm doing,
But do you not agree that you need to, furthermore, go as I spoke?
I'm sorry, your time's up.
Thank you.
Who else is going to want to speak tonight about the budget? Anyone else? Going once? Going twice?
You had to do it.
Give us your name and where you live, please.
I'm Ned Yates. Simple. One question. My understanding, Madam Chairman, since we don't have a county manager, you are the CEO, in my understanding. And most CEOs that I'm aware of in any business I've ever been associated with, they demand. They don't ask questions of accountability. They demand it. You know, are you, and it's back to this, either you don't understand that, or maybe, like I've said before, you took it personally. I didn't mean it personally. Maybe your memory is, you don't know what you've read in your manual. I don't know. Thank you.
All right, again, going once, going twice. All right, I'll make one final comment about that because my words were misconstrued. I do not have the budget in front of me. I don't remember by heart all 8,000 lines. So what I meant was I do not know because I don't have it in front of me. So let's be clear about that. There's a lot of data in there. I don't have a photographic memory. I apologize for being human. All right, we're moving on. We're going on to the next public hearing, which is for the consideration of an ordinance amending certain sections of Chapter 22 of the Walker County Code regarding land development, and that is O-01-26. So this is a public hearing, so folks can ask questions about the changes that we're making to this ordinance. Who would like to address the board? Anybody want to talk about this with the board? We will vote on this later. Going once, twice? All right, 3 times. Now we're going to the next public hearing, which is for planning and zoning requests. Papers. This is the portion of the meeting where the district commissioners consider the citizens' requests who want approval for a rezone or a variance on their property. The citizen first has to present their request to the Planning and Zoning Committee. That committee makes a suggested outcome to the board, who makes the final decision. The requesting party is offered at this meeting time to address the Board of Commissioners to provide additional information that may help in our decision-making. Tonight, we are hearing a petition from Dorothy Hagan, who requests a variance of more than 6 on a private drive for property located 225 Sourwood Lane in Chickamauga, Georgia, 30707. Tax and map parcel number 0-406-018D. Is Dorothy Hagan or a representative present tonight to speak on this matter? Please come forward.
Thank you.
Hello. Tell us your name, please.
Dorothy Hagan.
Okay, thanks.
Go ahead. Your name?
I'm Jenny Steinmetz, a mother of 5. My husband Ben is a pharmacist at Memorial Hospital in Chattanooga, and we're residents of Lafayette. We hope to purchase part of Ms. Hagan's property, which used to belong to my grandparents, David and Louise Jenkins. I practically grew up on their small farm in Mecklenburg Cove and dreamed of owning it for years. We were ready to purchase it from my grandparents in 2019, but due to a family emergency, we were forced to put our plans on hold while we cared for a family member's children for several months. My grandparents decided to move forward and sell it to Ms. Hagan. I was devastated. I don't hold it against my grandparents. They couldn't keep up with the property any longer, and I don't hold it against Ms. Hagan. She's like family to me. That's why I'm here supporting her, as well as my grandparents, parents, siblings, and cousins. My grandparents will be buried someday across from Sourwood Lane in the old Antioch Cemetery. My whole family loves this land and can't help feeling a strong sense that it rightly belongs in our family. Again, we're not looking to purchase it as an investment property, as many people would if they had the opportunity. We're looking to reclaim this land as a legacy for our children and future generations. We want to protect it. I have to try. and we're so grateful to Ms. Hagan for that opportunity. My husband and I also want to continue to farm it and raise a small herd of beef cattle, as my grandparents did for over 30 years. That's still the best beef I've ever tasted. We plan to continue large-scale gardening and raising chickens, as we've done in the past as well. Eventually, we'd like to raise lambs for meat and 1 or 2 horses. My girls love to ride, along with a few other small livestock, an orchard, berry patch, and bouquet flowers. We also hope to rebuild the old Smith home that stood on that site from before 1850 until 2017, true to its original character, as you can see in the picture. My grandpa had hoped to restore it, so this is his dream too. We first requested a variance to rebuild this home in February 2019, so my grandparents could stay in their own home and we could live on the property and take over the farm. It was then we learned it could have been grandfathered in just months earlier without a variance. Now we're seeking to rebuild it on its own lot. Concerns have been raised about privacy, mainly by Mr. Affman, who owns 3 properties used as a short-term rental business. We're happy to plant a layered evergreen privacy hedge and flowering shrubs to more fully block our home from view. However, with respect, Mr. Affman's guests have been the primary privacy concern for years. Through repeated trespassing, noise, reckless driving, and a large number of unfamiliar people and vehicles coming and going, which also causes significant wear and tear on the gravel drive that neighbors end up paying for. Those who actually live on Sourwood Lane know our longtime connection to this property and do not consider us a privacy concern at all. Consider these facts that support dividing Ms. Hagan's property. Only 2 families live on Sourwood Lane. 4 of the 6 residences are unoccupied most of the time. 3 are used as a short-term rental business rather than family homes. 1 is a barn that's more of an accessory building than a true residence. Our home would be, in reality, only the 6th true residence, and our family only the 3rd living on Sourwood Lane. A concern was also raised about the 2 lots west of Sourwood Lane, which do not have residences, and according to the county, have the potential to be divided into up to 6 theoretical future lots. However, a new private drive west Sourwood Lane was already approved for these potential residences and will be constructed if and when they exist. Still, we understand Mr. Affman's concerns and appreciate his willingness to work with Ms. Hagan and us. We don't want to do any harm. In fact, we hope we could benefit his short-term rental business by offering his guests opportunities for agritourism with our farm's foods and animals. Our home's history might even attract certain guests. We could minimize short-term disruptions by scheduling construction during the off-season and around reservations. Even so, we'd also be open to building on a different site if necessary. The site Mr. Affman suggested by the barn does not have as much space as the old home site, and we don't want to tear down the barn my grandpa built. We want to use it, but we might be able to make that site work. We'd be willing to build in the pasture as well. It floods, but I believe we could build high enough on the hill to be safe. However, neither of these sites has utilities like the original home site does, so naturally, that's where we prefer to build and hope Ms. Hagan's request will be granted. We respect and support Walker County's development strategies, so to end, I'd like to share how our plan aligns. First, limit new development. Our plan is not new development. We want to rebuild the historic Smith home, which stood on that site from before 1850 and which previously could have been grandfathered in. It's one of the landmarks featured in the book Echoes of Macklemore Cove. We want to preserve its history and honor the family who homesteaded there by rebuilding it true to its original character. You can see a rendering of our design concept. We've discussed this with Will Fryer, our potential contractor and longtime friend, who actually grew up in the cabin next to it and has a special connection to Sourwood Lane as we do. He's excited about our plan and hopes y'all approve it. Second, protect farmland and open space. This is one of our primary goals. We intend to preserve the land, continue to farm it, and keep it in our family for future generations. Third, promote conservation easements. This property is already protected by a conservation easement and will continue to be under our ownership. Fourth, limit residential subdivisions. We want Sourwood Lane to remain rural. Since I was little, I've heard rumors about people trying to make it into a subdivision, even as recently as a few weeks ago. My grandpa fought to keep this from happening, and I feel like I'm fighting that same fight now. Mr. Affman and Mr. Milliken, who opposed Ms. Hagan's request, fought alongside my grandpa too, and I apologize for misspelling Mr. Milliken's name in my letter. With respect, bringing this land back into our family's stewardship will protect it for generations. Fifth, restrict commercial and residential development. Again, this is not expansion, it's the continuation of a family farm as well as a long-standing home site. The site has been lived on since before 1850 and already has working power, water, a recently inspected septic tank, and its own driveway. The original chimney is still standing. It is the original home site on Sourwood Lane. Since the late 1980s, that site has also hosted a mobile home or camper or both for family and friends, including my grandparents, parents, myself. I spent my first Christmas there and many after. Uncles, friends of my grandparents who helped them with the farm, and most recently, Miss Hagen's friends and former neighbors, Buddy and Leon Gross. 6, promote passive use tourism and recreation. This place will continue to bring family and friends, as it always has, to fish, hunt, camp, hike, and enjoy all that Walker County has to offer. We also hope our farm can benefit the neighboring short-term rentals by offering guests opportunities for agritourism, like enjoying our foods. Would you like to go? Okay. You have the rest in your packet.
Hi, again, I'm Dorothy Hagan, and what I'm going to be discussing is the discrepancies and inconsistencies of the amount of lots on the Sourwood Lane. I want to start off by saying that this was approved by the county, and then it was unapproved by the county, again, because of the discrepancies. What I really would like to focus on is on the property that is listed as 224 Sourwood Lane. The property, we were under the impression that there were 7 lots on Sourwood Lane. Then I was told that there are 8 lots because in 2024 they divided one of the lots. No variance apparently was needed. They just were able to divide that. When I went to the planning and zoning meeting a few weeks ago, by my surprise, they told me there is 12 to 13 lots on this property. So again, that took me by surprise. Afterwards, I did ask for information regarding where are these lots. I live there. I know what's there. So they did show me the map that I'm showing you here. And you'll see that in yellow, that is Sourwood Lane. The pink is West Sourwood Lane. The first question that I had asked is, why is there 2 different roads? Well, and I can explain why there is. If you look at Lot 1 and Lot 2, they are north and south facing properties that exit out of Andrews Lanes. Those 2 lots should not be counting as a Sourwood Lane. If you look at lots 3, 4, and 5, that gives you the explanation on why there is a south Sourwood Lane, or I'm sorry, west Sourwood Lane. Those lots 3, 4, and 5 are elevated. If you look at the picture, you will see, to the best that I could do, is a picture of the elevation. Up on the top where there's trees, that is where, behind that is where West Sourwood Lane is. And that is where you would build a home. If you turn to the next page, you will see the views from building it up on top there. They're stunning, stunning views. There's no reason to build down on the bottom of a hill. So if you eliminate lots 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 from Sourwood Lane, that leaves lot 6. Lot 6 does have an entrance from West Sourwood Lane, but it doesn't make sense to use it. I would use Sourwood Lane instead. Now, the problem with that property is it is directly across from the Airbnb, and it actually will be facing the picture of the last page, which is showing you an example of what the people would be dealing with on a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then on Sunday when they all leave. So that lot became kind of useless to the new owners, so he decided to put in a pond and have cattle there so that he doesn't ever have to worry about that issue. Is there any questions regarding the explanation of these lots and how they are counted?
Commissioners?
No, ma'am.
So again, just to go over, there is no change in Sourwood Lane, none whatsoever. There's the same amount of lots today as there was before there was any kind of ordinance that said how many, 4, 6, 7. So, and that is important to us also. We don't want to change. But we are asking for a couple of reasons. One, for the legacy, and 2, the reason why her grandparents did sell it was because of, as we're getting older, it's harder to maintain 27, 28 acres. It is all usable land, and it's very hard to do that. And so we are in the same boat where we would have that opportunity to split the land and still be able to live there, enjoy it, but just maintain the property around our house. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate the detail that you brought tonight. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak for this request for a variance? All right, is there anyone that needs to speak against the variance request? Please remember, you'll have 12 minutes as well, and tell us your name and where you live. Thank you. Christian, you got the time?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
My name's John Affman, and I own the property at 507 Sourwood Lane that they've been referencing. I bought it 25 years ago, and I have lived on that property for a few years. Most of the years it's been run as a vacation rental property. And I just real quickly, if you turn to page 2, I'd like to go over and tell you, because most of you probably are not aware about the Lodge of Macklemore's Cove. And the reason is that is because we keep a very low profile. We do not advertise locally. We do not want people staying and then inviting a lot of people out there and having parties. We don't have any signs up. We don't want people driving down the lane. We want to respect the privacy. We've had 2 different television shows filmed there, one on the Bravo channel, one on the Up Network. Annually, we bring about 1,000 people into Walker County a year. All right. Now, the average stay is 3.5 days. People come, they buy groceries, they buy gas, they dine out. And this is all very minimal cost to the county. Walker County makes 12% on all of the rentals. And that's due to the vacation rental home tax, it's 8%, and then 4% from the state sales tax. Altogether, we've brought in 18,000 people to Walker County from all over the United States. You can see on the map there, this is just a couple of years, people come and they put pins down on where they came from. People that are coming tomorrow from Louisiana, Florida, and Texas. Mostly we do family reunions in the summertime. We do a lot of church retreats. Throughout the year, we're very family oriented. We've had people from all 50 states that have come and stayed with us. We host, like I said, mainly family reunions, church retreats. We do not allow fraternities. We make it very clear this is not a party destination. This is a place where people can come and enjoy nature, the landscape, the beautiful views, Macklemore Cove, have privacy, and just relax and enjoy themselves. And in spite of almost weekly requests, we don't do large weddings. I do very, very few, just a couple of very tiny, small weddings, because we don't want all those people coming out there. All right. We give a percentage of earnings back to the county. In the past 5 years, we've donated over $10,000 to the Care Mission in Lafayette to help feed people in need. If you're not familiar with the Care Mission, this is a plug for the Care Mission. They can use all the help that you can give. They can actually, the largest food pantry in Northwest Georgia, give out over 11 tons of food a week. That $10,000 translates to over 1 million meals that we have provided to people in need, because the Care Mission can supply a meal for 8 cents. So please, people, get behind the Care Mission, because they're doing a phenomenal job. Competition in this business is very tough. I've been doing this for a long time, for 25 years, for the larger part of it. And, there's a lot of people out there. And the main thing that we provide is privacy. This is a private place where you can get away, you can hear nature, you can see nature, you can experience nature. And that's what people want, a beautiful setting, a log cabin experience. And that's what we offer to provide. I'm a very hands-on owner. I'm out there every day. People know I'm going to be there. I take care of the garbage. I take care of what's needed. I keep an eye on things. This is not a place where people go and get wild. It's just not what it is, and people know that. The reasons that I oppose the variance are many. The main thing is that, Sourwood Lane is maxed out. I mean, it's a private lane. There's no way that two cars can pass on good parts, on a large part of the area. And the county set up guidelines for a reason. The reasons are. And when I bought this property 25 years ago, I was assured that, I won't ever have a neighbor right there beside me because there's no more places that can be had on the lane. And so 6 years ago, the Jenkins came before the Planning Commission and they asked for a variance for the same property. They wanted a variance, they wanted to build. They gave their request, the Planning Commission said no. Plain and simple. A few weeks ago, they came back again, the same request. The Planning Commission unanimously said no, it's not fit for more lots. It's just not. And I've, suddenly become the bad guy in this. And, I talked to Dottie, I talked to Nick, Nick is Dottie's husband. Tried to work out some things, tried to work it out. It didn't go anywhere. Yesterday, Dottie told me that she's going to destroy my business, that she has already started the process. After the Planning Commission, 2 days later, the fire marshal shows up at my place. He's like, we had a call from a neighbor that you don't have fire safety, protocols in place. And this is serious.
Who do you want the message?
That's very serious. I want the message to be, y'all to know what is going on, because you have a business that is supporting Walker County, that is behind Walker County, has been proven track record. You've never had a call. You never had, most of you don't even know it was there. It's been there for 25 years. And the reason you don't know that it's there is because we intentionally keep a low profile. Also, Mr. Milliken, Kim Milliken's here, son's here. Now, just to give you some history, Kim Milliken's relatives own that house that they're talking about rebuilding. As a child, he was in that house. Is that correct, Mr. Milliken? Are you opposed to this? He's opposed to this as well. There's other neighbors that aren't here, and I can't speak for them, but the fact that they're not here supporting this should tell you something. Okay? When Dave Jenkins built his house 30-something years ago, he decided he did not want to build where the old homestead was, because Conrad Fryer had started building the cabin, which is now the lodge, and he didn't want to be that close to somebody else. That's right there. And if you look on page 3, you can see from the swimming pool looking to the south, it's a beautiful view. When you look to the north, you see the chimney, and that's where they're wanting to build. It's just barely over 100 feet from the property line. And, we talked about that before, and, I tried to say, let's work something out. No, this is the spot that we want to build on. This is what I was told. But, Dave did not want to be that close to another neighbor. And there's a reason for that. Everybody out there has acreage. There's 38 acres. I have 20 acres, 22 acres. The Henses have 5 acres down at the bottom. But nobody wants to be right beside somebody else. And when you talk about construction and building a house, and you've got people that are paying money to go on vacation to get away from it, that's not what you want to hear when you're on vacation for a week, and for peace and privacy, because that's our main draw. And I have nothing against, Jen and Ben, and they've, got an agreement in their family where they're going to buy Nick and Dottie's house whenever they decide to sell. They've already got right of first refusal, their family does. So they can get the property when it's time, when Nick and Dottie are done with it. So that way, there's no extra houses, and there doesn't need to be anything else ran down the lane. So, basically, it's not that I'm against them. It's just that, I had an agreement with Walker County or Walker County had, you know, the standards of this is what it is when I bought the property. And I understand that things change, but my understanding was unless they put in a road and paved it, then it couldn't be divided up anymore. And that's, you know, I understand if it gets divided, you know, paved road, that makes a difference. But right now, that's not the case. So I just ask you, Mr. Milliken, did you want to share anything real quick?
I believe you covered it all.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate all y'all and just want you to know that in the future, if you hear anything bad about the Lodge of Macklemore's Cove, kind of giving you a heads up. Thank you.
All right, there's 1 minute and 45 seconds left for anyone that wants to speak against this. If anybody wants to take that 1 minute, 45 seconds. Anybody? All right. We'll move to the next one, which is for a petition from Hannah England, who requests a variance to divide less than 5 acres in a A1 zone for property located at 497 England Drive, Lafayette, Georgia, 30728. Tax map and parcel number 0-445-002. Is Hannah England or a representative present to address the board? Are you Hannah England?
No, ma'am.
No,
Okay.
she is Sherry England, and I'm David Gottlieb.
And
I
someone
rep-
behind you.
Okay.
I represent Hannah.
I'm sorry?
I represent her. She's here.
Okay. And you're Mr. Palmer?
I am.
Okay, she's in the audience. Okay, great. Thank you very much. And this is 12 minutes, and it's in, how do I say it, it's for the petition. This is in favor of the petition.
Good evening, board members. I don't think this one will be adversarial. We were at the planning commission and there was nobody objecting. Just to give you a very brief overview, the subject property is approximately 80 acres in total. I've provided you with a survey that shows only a small portion of the property, but it specifically designates Lot 1 at the top, where that's the parcel that we're looking and requesting a variance. As shown there, it is 1.01 acres. And here's a little bit of the background. The entire property is zoned agricultural. Again, it's approximately 80 acres. The property is currently titled in the name of Edna and Hyle England Jr., both of whom unfortunately have passed away. Hannah England and Sherry England, both of whom are here this evening, are the sole beneficiaries under their parents' last wills and testaments. The property has been in the family for many years, and the children were raised there. Sherry England has returned as an adult to this property and has lived on the property for approximately the last 10 years prior to her parents passing away. She assisted in providing care for them. Hannah and Sherry have entered into a settlement agreement that's been filed with the Walker County Probate Court. The settlement agreement provides that Hannah is to serve as the administrator of the estate, and that's why the petition was filed in her name. And the entire 80 acres pursuant to this agreement is to be conveyed to Hannah, except for the 1 acre that we're asking the variance on, which is to be conveyed to Sherry as set forth on the survey that I have provided. The settlement agreement is contingent upon the granting of the variance so that Sherry England can remain on the 1 acre of property. It would create a hardship if the variance is not granted because the mobile home in which Sherry lives cannot be removed from the 1 acre tract without major structural damage to the mobile home. and she also has a mortgage on the mobile home. So if she can't take the mobile home, she continues to pay for the mortgage regardless. The deed would include a provision that if either the 1 acre or the remaining 79 acres were ever to be sold by either of these two ladies, that the other sibling would have the right of first refusal to purchase the part that is being up for sale. And we request that the board grant the variance. We're happy to answer any questions. I also will yield to Mr. Palmer to see if he has any comments to add.
I do. Hannah was left the farm by her mother, and so her sister has her aunt's trailer next to their home, and the aunt passed away, and she's lived in that trailer for quite some time, and we want her to continue to be able to live there, and they're right next to each other, and that's the reason we entered into this agreement and asked you to approve it. We think we have enough of an agreement such that in the event that she's unable to continue to live in it or whatever happens, that my client has the resources to buy it and merge the property back together. We put an easement to the road. I don't think there's any issues about trying to violate your act, your violations or anything like that. We're just trying to settle a family estate and ask you to do it. That's the simple part of it, I guess. And thank you for your time.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Mr. Palmer and I are available if board members have any questions.
I do. How long has Miss Anglin lived in the mobile home?
Sherry England has lived, she was raised, I believe, Sherry and Hannah were both raised as young, as children. And then Sherry moved from the property and got married, but she has been back on this, at this trailer and has been living in the trailer for approximately 10 years.
10 years, okay. 10 years. That was my only question, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Any other commissioner?
So what would, if they both are on the estate and it goes into both of them, what keeps her from living there if we don't approve the variance? Why couldn't she still live there? Why would you have to change it?
Well,
Let me answer that.
Okay.
We want to make it more economical for her to mortgage the property. She's got a trailer mortgage on it. It would be easier for her to refinance or make her payments lower or something like that. But it wouldn't be our intent to throw her out if you didn't approve the variance. I mean, we're not going to throw her out of her home if that's what you mean.
But could you not go 5 acres and then she would have more leverage to be able to mortgage it?
And we could do anything, but we entered into this agreement, and the way that we had to divide the property, there's a well on it, and there's some other improvements that she made that it just, we didn't really think about the 5 acre at the time we broke it out, and we spent the time and money surveying it out, and I really believe that at some point in time, it's gonna be merged back together anyway. But it's a very good question. We're not gonna throw her out, but it would be a disservice to her to not be able to do that.
also, I believe the spirit and the intent of, not subdividing, this is not going to in any way affect the agricultural use of the property. And I also concur that it probably is going to end up being reunited with the family at some point. But it also provides just some certainty for each of these individuals by the conveyance.
Any other questions from the
No,
board?
ma'am.
I have something to say.
You certainly can. You have 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
report.
You're okay?
No, I'm just saying that I keep the land up. We have, leased the farm, not physically lease it, but there's farmhands been on the farm for several years through our daddy. And, they keep the farm up. In the meantime, I maintenance the farm, I mow and I do everything. So there's no way she could get 5 acres because she don't even take care of the one.
Does the board have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Gottlieb, is that all that you wanted to say?
That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good information, thank you. Okay, we will now move on to the third petition from Riley and Morgan Brandy. If they're here, they can come on up while I read. They request a rezone from R2 residential to RA residential agriculture for property located at 750 Marble Top Road, Chickamauga, Georgia 30707. Tax and map parcel 0-110-0013E. Are you Mr. Brandy?
Yes, ma'am.
Riley.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Thank you very much. You have 12 minutes.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Good evening. It looks like there's some pretty interesting stuff on the agenda later, so I'll try to keep it under 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Very straightforward. We're on a 4.29 acre lot that was just horse pasture up until the end of last year. It was subdivided, and we got the 4.3 acre lot, built a little cottage on it. We want to basically farm and homestead for our own consumption to the maximum extent allowable within the regulations. It didn't seem prudent to us to apply for full Ag A1 zoning because of the required variance that would result in for a 5 acre down to a 4.3. So we figured that RA was the best thing to align with the use of the land that we intend, with the character of the area. There were quite literally horses on the land up until we broke ground and they moved somewhere else. So it's already fenced in with 5-wire completely around. And I think some of the documentation has what I put together as the initial plans. We've started making the moves that we can within the R2 zoning, but we're holding off anything else until we can get, hopefully, RA. So I'd just leave it open for any questions or comments beyond that. Hope
So you have a
everything's
driveway
clear.
going in there?
Yes, ma'am. About 400-foot long paved driveway.
Looks like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Shared with the original Howard's house there. That was the original home for the 30-plus acre property there that it started getting split off from.
Does the board have any questions for Mr. Brandy?
And your total footprint was how many acres?
4.29. Yes, sir.
That was all.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, is that all that you wanted to say to the board then? Okay, I think we're good. Thank you so much for coming tonight.
Thank you all.
Yep. All right, now we will reset the clock for 12 minutes for anyone who would speak against this rezoning request. Does anyone have comments for this rezone? Against it? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Okay, thank you. So we will move on then to making the decisions for these 3 requests that we just had the public hearing about. And again, if the vote results in a tie, then I will cast a deciding vote as authorized. The first request to be determined by the district commissioners was from Dorothy Hagan, who requested variance for more than 6 on a private drive for her property on Sourwood Lane. At the June 18th meeting, the Planning Commission recommended this rezone be denied because the current driveway situation violates our county ordinance 22-401. What is the pleasure of the board in this request, please?
I make a motion that we rule with the planning commission on this. I understand the concerns about it, but number of homes on a private drive up until 5 years ago was 4. We changed it to 6. And if we allow more to go there, we set a precedence for all the private drives in the county. Therefore, I recommend that we uphold their decision.
Is there a second to Mr. Hart's motion?
Second.
Now we can have discussion if necessary. Does anybody need to discuss this matter further? All right, well, we'll move to a vote then. To cast your final vote regarding this matter, the motion was made by Mr. Hart to stay with the denial made by the Planning Commission. Mr. Wilson seconded it. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, so is Ms. Hagan still here? Yes, I'm just making sure you understand that this commission has denied your request. Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
I'm telling her.
Okay,
Since they denied her.
yes, okay. Thank you. Just want to make sure that you understood the process there. All right, so the second one we'll go through is Miss Hannah England, who requested I'm sorry, I don't know if I finished that. I think I did say that, yes, okay. Just want to make sure I was official. The next request is from Hannah England, who requests a variance to divide less than 5 acres in a A1 zone for property located at 497 England Drive in Lafayette. The Planning Commission, in their June 18th meeting, recommended this rezone be denied because the request violates the county comprehensive plan. What is the pleasure of this board on this matter?
I'll make a motion to support their decision on this. Again, it sets a precedence in that area. That area is a heavy ag area in our county, and if we allow one there, it could expand that situation.
Is there a second motion for Mr. Hart's motion to stay with the denial? Second motion, please. I need a second.
Second.
Is there a discussion? Do we need discussion?
I'd like to discuss it.
Okay.
It appears that it is definitely, it's all family oriented and it's I wish that the survey had been done appropriately for a 5-acre tract. I have problems with somebody putting somebody out of a 10-year residence, especially when we have, deaths in the family or things that are out of their control, and then things happen, and then now we're trying to settle the estate or whatever we're trying to do and come to it. And I stand firm, and I understand about, our 5-acre rule. However, a situation like this, I just don't think that, that it's gonna, I don't think it in any way would adversely affect the agricultural use of the property. If it's already there, it's already existing. And, in a situation like that, I just feel like that we would be better off to work with the individual, knowing that probably, or I say probably, from what we've been told, the properties would probably merge back together at some point in time in life anyway. Just seems hard to put to an existing that's been there 10 years. I just got a problem with that. I do. So I wanted to state that before we move any further.
Okay. Any other comments about this topic?
That's why I asked. I mean, I don't want to put her out, and he said they wasn't going to put her out. Like they should. I mean, they knew the 5-acre. And if she had 5, it gives her more mortgage leverage, and the other people's going to keep 75 if they were surveyed it to 5. But I mean, and then they're not going to put her out. So I don't know why they didn't survey it to 5, because that's how. When did that go into place?
Well, I think it was stated that the one getting the 79 acres is the one that's took care of the estate. And it's basically the way the family wanted it.
Mr. Wilson, did you ask when that ordinance was changed?
Yeah, the 5 acres. I just
I may have it.
You remember?
Oh, the 5 acre?
It was there before the Board of Commissioners
Yeah.
came on. Yeah.
That was, yeah.
So prior to
So I'm saying-
2021.
Madam Chair, may I add to this? Mr. Persley wasn't at the meeting, and I took some notes on this particular variance, if I may speak.
Does the board need information? Let me just clarify what your role is, Randy, so everybody understands why you want to speak. Randy is the chairman of the Planning and Zoning Commission, and his comments may be valuable to the board if the board wants to hear them. Do you all want to hear from Randy?
Can we asked what was the vote on the denial?
From my notes, it seemed like, and I just caught, Mr. Gottlieb's end of the, probate court, it seemed like there was still something up in the air with the, legality of who owned the property. Also, the 1 acre, come in pretty much as a hardship because the lady may not be able to afford property taxes on 5 acres. And so that's where the 1 acre come in my notes.
Okay, thank you for that additional information. Appreciate that.
I know this may be out of order and you may tell me to sit down, and that's perfectly fine, but I can offer a little explanation as to the 5 acre versus 1 acre if the board is interested.
Well, I
your
think,
call.
I
don't think so.
Yeah, I
don't
think
it's
we've,
necessary.
I'm sorry, but we need to make a decision. We're at the voting now. And so we still have a motion on the floor to deny and a second motion. So we need to vote and then we'll see what happens, okay? So all in favor to deny this motion, deny the request, say aye.
Aye.
And all in favor to not approve it, to do, I said it backwards, sorry, I've got myself confused now. So we had Mr. Hart wanted to go with the planning commission, which denied it. I'll ask the question again. All in favor to deny the request, say aye.
Aye.
All against the motion, say nay.
Nay.
So we have 3 nays and 1 aye.
But you made a second.
I did, but I mean,
You can
if she
change your-
can't afford it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If she can't afford the taxes, I mean,
Okay.
can't do that. I agree.
So the motion
Most of them said it's all financial.
to deny does not succeed, so it fails, basically. And so now I need a motion to approve her request.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor to approve her request, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Nay.
Okay. The motion to approve the request passes, and that is the final order of this board. Is that clear, Mr. Godlieb, to everybody? Okay, thank you.
It is. Thank
All
you.
right.
Sister that couldn't do it.
Okay, thanks to the board for helping me through
I
that.
get it.
Okay. All right. Now we have the third one. The third request was from Riley and Morgan Brandy, who request the rezone from R2 residential to RA residential agriculture for their property on Marble Top Road. The Planning Commission at their June 18th meeting recommended this rezone be approved. What is the pleasure of this board for this matter?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Blakemore. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Askew seconded. Is there any discussion about this one? No? Okay, all in favor to approve the request by Mr. and Mrs. Brandy, say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Okay, the motion passes to approve. Mr. Brandy, are you still here and you understand? Okay, you're very welcome. All right, now we are at the public comment section where each person may address the board about whatever they want to talk about. And it's a 5-minute rule, which I will have to make sure we stay to that too, because this is a long meeting. And we have a lot of business to take care of. So please come forward if anybody would like to address the board. Sure.
I'm Jim Pope, and I want to, last month, you tabled the decision on the Concord Road about closing it. Tonight, and you wanted additional information before you voted. Tonight, I'd like to encourage you to come identify additional information that you might need, but briefly identify it, and then if we run out of time, I'll respond in writing. So, Robert Blakemore, do you have any additional information that you would like to bring forth? Just briefly identify it.
No, I got all I needed. I talked to the fire chief, and he said if there is an emergency, they can come through that road, even if it is closed, and that was my question.
Okay. Mark, do you have it? One.
My concern was to hear, when we heard from our Historic Preservation Commission, and they had asked to talk, to maybe try to work some kind of a deal to keep part of the right-of-way for future development of a trail or some sort of something like that.
Mhm.
So I wanted to see if we've made any progress with that. That's what I wanted to see, is if there's been any progress made, if anybody's talked about that, or that was my reason for more information.
Yeah. Well, are you in favor of closing the road or just keeping the road right away of 60 feet?
Well, I want to understand. I want to understand if there's been any conversation, or if there is any kind of an agreement, even in the works, before I make a decision.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Chairwoman Angie, do you have anything for additional information?
No, sir. I have traveled that road and I have, I've listened to all of the comments. I think it's a very interesting problem that we have. So I want to thank you and everybody else, Mr. Culpepper, for example, who's given us such lengthy and detailed information. So thank you for that. But I'm good today. Thank you. Mr. Hart?
No further questions from me.
Well, you said you're not voting. Let me pass you and go to Gene here. Do you have any?
The reason I did table it is because the information from the historic preservation came just before that meeting, and I'm just trying to find out the history side of what the preservation needs to be done. I understand the problems of that road, and I understand your point of view, wanting to keep it open. I don't know. I'm still trying to get all my facts in my bucket.
Well, let me add in a couple other things. One, therapy for nature lovers. Now, you probably are familiar with the Trust for Public Land. They really emphasize how important it is for nature lovers to have access to these backwoods. Number two, I don't think it's been mentioned that we have a business near Concord downtown. That is, Tim Redden has an equipment sale 2 times a year up there. That this is a farm equipment, and it's about as big as Potts' auction up there. So those are the things I wanted to give you an opportunity to bring forth, and I'll try to respond more to your comments that later. Thank you for your attention. Do you have any questions? We got 1 minute.
Good, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Pope.
Next.
Jamie Halsey, I still live on 341 Chickamauga. Just a reminder, when y'all make these votes, less than 5 acres, average 250 acres per day in this country is lost in our ag land. We just contributed again. I've been directed or shifted to ask y'all questions today. I know there was a topic brought up about the Rossville Gym and the property, and about only wanting 650 something thousand for that property. And at that time, and maybe not now, maybe you have it, do we have a economic study to displace that property that's worth at least $4 million, and we're only getting 650 something thousand out of it? Do we have that study? Do we have that justification?
No, we do not.
Why? Is that the
That's
government
not-
property, or was that the citizens' property we
There's
sold?
no.
So we can sell property without justification, and so
There is
there's
n-
not a payback to us as far as gaining revenue to displace the value of that property. There's not one, is there?
There's no legal requirement for us to.
Now,
have-
you don't have to be legal to be right. Us citizens own this place. You work for us. believe it or not.
And we'll put that
So
money
when-
right back in the general fund. It will be very helpful for the taxpayers.
So instead of, you could have put $2 or $3 or $4 million back in the general fund, you decided to put $650,000 in general funds.
We don't know it would sell for $4 million.
We know the value. Well, I guess there wasn't a choice. It wasn't a bid process. It was like, how much can we get for that? Would I sell my house to somebody who want to pay me $100,000? Is what I'm asking.
That'd be your choice.
When it might be worth for. So it's your choice who work for us, not giving justification to the citizens on why we're giving something away.
Does the board want to answer or respond to this at all?
Do you see the need in responding to citizens on selling something for way below market value? Just like Macklemore. Did we ever see justification of that? Have we seen that $2 or $3 per dollar that we're supposed to be getting back?
Oh, we're getting good tax money off
You're
of it.
going to give me the spreadsheet of what we get in return on those millions over 30 years. We're giving to Macklemore. Do you have that?
I don't have it in front of me, no.
Okay. Well,
However, I
hope
do
we-
know that
I hope we see it by next commission meeting.
however, I do know that our sales tax is up, and I can tell
I
you,
want to see the spreadsheet, please. I don't want to talk. We heard enough talk on trying to justify $1 versus $3. Haven't seen it. Hadn't seen real numbers. The only numbers we saw was created by Georgia Tech. For those that wasn't here, it said Walker County will do okay if we receive the hotel motel tax of 8%. And in that meeting, if you recall, that line item's still there going to Walker County. But guess what? Y'all voted to put that line item of hotel motel tax to Macklemore, which the sum then says we don't get anything. Do y'all recall that? So again, here's another high dollar, million-something dollar decision without justification. So I was asking Gene Wilson some of this stuff, and I said, well, Gene, it was inquired by Jay Tankersley when he was here, and like, what's going on? And every one of you, when we went through, said, oh, Gene's talking with him about that. And I said, well, that's why I contacted Gene and said, Gene, what's going on? He said, well, I didn't make the sales price. Somebody else did. Need to ask the commission. So I'm asking the commission who came up with $651,000 or so.
Are we talking about Macklemore or the Rossville wreck? I got confused.
Hold on. Let me make it simple. We're talking about Rossville Gym. There's 30 million to 50 million, whatever, up at Macklemore. Y'all gave away, or they gave away. The government gave away. Talking about Rossville Gym. So who created the 651,000?
That is a property tax value assessed by the assessors.
Instead of a market value where it could have been sold, we could add a few million in the budget. Could have took care of this budget overage that we're talking about right now. So there's another thing of a disclosure. I asked Gene, I said, you do business with, what kind of financial relationship you have with Prater Flooring? Admin's done business for years with Prater Flooring, right? You said that. And I said, he said, that's no problem. Well, when you're a shareholder in the company, some things you disclose. And then all y'all said was Gene's out there talking about something. And I said, well, the CEO's not talking about this too. No other commissioners, just Gene over here talking about something. That's what y'all said. And I said, well, it's not even in his district. I'm calling District 4 Commissioner about the District 3 deal that the CEO's not involved with. Gene's talking about something over there. I don't even know what. So there's a disclosure of relationships, disclosure
Your time's
procedure.
up. Thank you. Mr. Brandy, were you going to say something?
Y'all love that. Stop. Watch.
Mr. Brandy, tell us your name, though, just for the record, please.
Riley Brand, 750 Marble Top Road. Thank you so much. I am going to ask these questions with great fear and trepidation because I'm learning on the fly. I came here hoping to ask permission to have a couple sheep and didn't realize I got the honor of sharing, hearing with the data center moratorium thing going on. So this is by way of understanding. Regarding that item, resolution 5326 for tonight's agenda, it's going to establish a temporary moratorium on data centers. And my question is, if it expires in 30 days, as I understand properly, will there be ample opportunity with that expiration for public comment? And what would the board's feedback be in terms of the opportunity for public comment on the specific types of zone planning that's going to come out of that?
So I will respond, and the board members are welcome to add to what I was going to say this when it came up, but I'll be glad to say it now. It's fine. It's a very good question, and I want to make sure I said it correctly. This is from our outside, our council. To explain the process we must follow in this situation, we will run the moratorium in the Walker County Messenger for the period required by law. That will announce the public forum, like the hearing. So that announces that that'll be on at the August 6th board meeting. So we'll have a public hearing, just like we did before on these other items, just like that for that meeting for the moratorium. Then, after that ends, the board will be asked to adopt a 180-day additional moratorium. And during that 180 days, a final resolution or ordinance, whichever is appropriate, will be drafted for consideration for the board in February of 2027.
Excellent.
So no data center will be coming before any of that happens. So does that answer your question?
More than I could have asked for.
Okay,
Thank you
great.
so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for asking. Does the board want to add anything? I'm sorry, I left you hanging.
Just for some more clarification on that, because I talked to John, so we would have public hearings just like we had on the change to the land use ordinance that we had today.
Yes,
We would
sir.
have, the planning commission would have one, there'd be a second one here before we ever voted, right? Well, that's where the public input would come from.
That's correct, yes.
That's what I thought.
Yep, you got it.
Very good, thank you.
Y'all want to say anything else?
No, the 30-day, the way I understand it through council was a 30-day moratorium was to give us time to have the public hearings and get the input to
Correct.
pull together ordinance and all that. So the 30-day was the initial step to get it started, so that we could get the
Public hearing.
public hearings
On that.
in. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
understood, yes.
Thank you for that. All right, next, please. Please give us your name and where you live.
Ralph Harris, I live in Ville now. I'm gonna read something to y'all. A couple of y'all don't need to hear it, but I think some of y'all need to be reminded of it. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceful assembly. Now, here's the part I think some of y'all need to listen close. And to petition the government for a redress of grievances. We sit back here, we hear comments, statements, questions. If it's something somebody don't like, I don't know, or get real snappy answers. Forgive me, I'm human. You know what I'm saying? But I think some of y'all need to listen to that and remember that, because this is the Constitution of the United States.
I will offer my time when we have more time to talk about that in my office or at your house or any organization. I try to move this meeting along, try to get it along, and these answers can be very long-winded, and I will be glad to meet with you and answer any question on any topic that anybody would like to ask me. So,
Well, for example,
in my office, when we have, because we have more time.
When it's pertaining.
Yes, I'm available to you.
I think the public has the time. When it's paying $1 million, the public has the time.
We have one person in front of you, Gary.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
Tell us your name.
Hello, I'm Tori Phillips, and I'm from Flintstone, and I have a business in Chickamauga. And I wanted to ask the board on this data center thing, if you have currently entertained any proposals from any people possibly coming in here for a data center, and has there been any rumors? I've heard rumors that there's going to be across from my business at the old Barwick Mill. Because it has water and acreage. So I was just wanting to find out a little ahead of time before the 30-day moratorium. And I was also wanting to know about the rec center. Are we going to have a bid or a appraisal process for that rec center? And is it open for bid? Because I think I kind of agree that $650,000 for that particular property is kind of low. But anyway, that's just my comments. Would anybody like to comment?
I'll answer about the moratorium.
Okay.
That the Economic Development Authority receives questions quite frequently on all types of businesses, and one or two data center people have asked, but they wouldn't give us the name, so we don't know who it was. But they said it was for a data center development. And knowing that that is not something that this community wants to have, they gave them really good reasons why it doesn't fit here. So they went away.
Okay.
So we're
Thank you.
listening to the public because everybody's really wanting to make sure we don't get any of those here because there's different types of data centers.
Yes, I know.
And so we want to explore that. But yes, the answer to your question is a few have asked, but we don't know who they were because those requests for information comes in with a usually from a broker or something like that, and they won't
Yeah.
give the name of the business. So
No, that's fine.
okay,
But I was just concerned because when we had the possibility of having a chicken processing plant across from my business, Macklemore Cove Preservation Society canvassed against it, and then we didn't get it. So that was a good thing. But are we gonna have an appraisal process of the rec center or a bid process, or is that a done deal?
does the board want to answer that? I feel like we've answered that already, but do y'all want to add anything to that?
We voted on it to send it to the JDA, so
Economic
I
development.
think it's a done deal.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
One thing to add to the data center piece, ma'am.
Yeah.
So Stephanie Watkins and myself, Stephanie is the county's economic development director. Did I get that right?
You did.
Okay. Her and I went to a one-day seminar in Chattanooga about data centers and learned a tremendous amount. There were several people there throughout the state who have had good experiences with data centers and bad experience with data centers. But it was just an opportunity to hear that and learn more about it. And through that meeting, Stephanie, who will be working with John, I'm sure, very closely on this as we draft these ordinances up, has a lot of knowledge and a lot of tools she can reach out to get information on it.
Okay.
So we are aware that there are a lot of them around us. We are aware that they are buying up huge chunks of ag land in the whole state. And we want to make sure that doesn't happen in Wolf County. That's right.
And our county attorney will be heavily involved in that
Yes, ma'am.
writing of the document as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Anything else anybody wants to say about that? Okay. All right, thank you. Who else would like to come forward?
My name is Don Van Furnace. I'm in District 3. I've spoke before about data centers, and I'm glad that you folks put out this resolution. It looks like you've really done some investigation as to what we ought to be considering. Let me tell you a little bit here about Hamilton County. They've got a one-year moratorium. Bradley County says we're going to adopt zoning rules that limit, and they didn't say how long that was going to be. Now, take a look at a recent item that just came to light, and that is the county down in, well, I had the county's name, Jones County. The residents just got a new data center approval, and it was forced down their throats. Again, they had absolutely no option to talk about it. And this is what we really, really fear about in the folks that I've talked to in this county. We just don't want it. Or at least if we do want it, then we need to say, what are we willing to put up with? And maybe the zoning needs to take a really look at this. You know, you can always say, well, we'll welcome you in, but the zoning says that you can only go to the top of the Walker County landfill or something like that. Now, that's being facetious, I know, but that is a valid out. I'd like to talk a little bit more about your moratorium duration. You've already noted that 30 days is not enough and you plan to go to 180. That's wonderful. I'm really glad you're looking at that. But even at that, I'm not sure there's enough time to really examine all of the ins and outs, the environmentals, the water, mechanics, noise pollution, ozone pollution, et cetera, et cetera. So I wish you folks would consider a little bit more time, perhaps. That's the primary reason that I wanted to speak tonight. So again, I appreciate your memorandum here. You've done a lot of work. We need a lot more work to be done. And I hope we're successful in the future with doing that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hi.
I want to thank you all as well for listening to us and really putting this to action very quickly. I mean, it was really lightning speed, so I appreciate that. One thing I would add is I did notice that the Girard Law Firm was the only firm that I could find that put 30-day moratoriums in place. I was going to ask that we strike that, but it sounds like you all are going to put something in place at the next board meeting, so that's fantastic. I appreciate it. The other thing I wanted to mention is in the purpose of this, it does not include adding research for the utility water usage and energy. It does mention it on the first page that there is a concern of that. But I did want, like, for example, Stephanie and John to really take into consideration that, even though that's not included in the purpose. So that's all I had to add. So thank you all for everything that you've done to get this moving.
Thanks for noting that. Appreciate that.
All right.
Robbie Tate, Lafayette. So I'm going to take up where I left off about the fire service fees. So it looks like so far, and this is just from 2023 to today, we've collected about $23.825 million. The lawsuit, which was filed in 2023, can go all the way back to 2018, the 5-year statute of limitations. So you can see how many millions of dollars of liability that we're exposed to. I'm not saying we're going to lose that, but if the case in front of the Supreme Court is ruled in favor of the people who won in Chatham County, then we're exposed to a great deal of liability. And we're relying on this fire service fee in the 2027 budget for over $10 million, I believe it's projected. And that's still $1.8 million short. So that's almost another $12 million of potential liability that we could be exposed to. So we can remedy that, okay? It says, moving forward, unless the Georgia General Assembly explicitly legislates a constitutional framework for alternative public safety assessments, counties and municipalities must fund fire services through traditional value-based ad valorem property tax. In conclusion, I'm opposed to the millage rate increase as much as anyone, and I'm strenuously opposed to an increase to simply meet the budget request of the various county departments. I favor increasing efficiency and trimming wasteful spending over increasing the budget by the amount requested. However, a millage rate increase to replace the fire service fee is a necessary evil. Passing the budget for 2027, which relies on the fire service fee, is unwise and should not be implemented. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad you finished your statement there. Thank you. Next.
Robbie brings up some good points about the millage rate calculation, but that would still need to be done through the public safety fee. And I believe you'll find that Whitfield County is one example, has a millage rate assigned to the assessed values in their public or fire fee that they do have. The issue that I was trying to raise tonight was that when you take money and budget money in your general fund for a service district that does not include the entire county, you're taking on a great risk of additional litigation from those members that are part of those 4 cities. And so y'all determine what budget level you want to set for the fire department, but you just need to do it through the public safety fee, whether it be a fee, millage rate, however you decide to do it, at whatever level you decide to do it. But the $1.8 million that is in the general fund budget needs to be shifted over to the public safety fee, and then y'all determine the size that you want to make it to be. Also, I wanted to bring attention, Christian's got a nice insert in the packet of an overview of the budget to status report. And in the general fund, there are 67 departments that are listed here. And through April, that would be 58.34% through the year of the budget. There's 23 departments that are over 60% already into their budget. So those 23 departments are trending to be over budget for the entire fiscal year. The most notable one is going to be your road department, your public works department. They are trending based off the information that was given at the budget meeting that y'all had on Friday. to be over $500,000 over budget in the 2026 year, the current year. Also, when you look at the information that was released in your 2026 projections, you're projecting on personnel costs. When I say personnel costs, that's all your benefits, insurance, payroll taxes, personnel cost, everything. Your records are showing you're projecting a $26.6 million projection for the year for the general fund with a $25.2 million budget. So you're going to be almost $1.4 million over budget just in the general fund on personnel cost if there's not changes made. Also alarming is your proposed budget is going to be $600,000 less than what you're spending in your personnel now. So I know you're wanting to give COLAs and have other staffing needs, but when you go and look at this in detail, you're going to be $600,000 short even by raising it $767,000. So Christian has a copy of this. Be happy to email any of this to you. I did not have enough extra copies. But just system-wide, being also your special revenue funds as well, your E911, Fire Department, Landfill, Mountain Co., your personnel budget is projecting right now to be $1.5 million over budget. So the board sets the budget every year, and the CEO and the department heads and the staff are supposed to honor and recognize and adhere to that budget until you guys decide to change it. And so I'm projecting that you're going to have a multi-million-dollar hit again to the reserve fund. And if this board elects to make decisions to spend the reserve fund, maybe you want to build a $10, $15 million building, put that on the agenda, approve it. You made the decision to utilize those funds. But you're heading down a pathway now. You're going to come up at the end of the year, and it's going to be just like last year when the auditors come in, you're going to go, oh no, how did this happen? How did we go 5, 10, $15 million into the fund balance? How did this happen? These numbers are screaming loudly that you're heading in that direction. And I know when you look at Christian's report, the last line says you're at 58.19%. But when you look at 23 departments are already projecting to far exceed that, this board needs to be aware that the budget that y'all approved is not being followed. And that's a real issue for you board members because you're the only ones that can change that to make the staff follow the budget. Thank you.
Christian, do you have, do you have a number of what, how much, if we went into the general fund?
So, are you talking about the fund balance?
Yeah,
So
I guess that's
last-
what he said, or
Last year
general
was
fund.
600,000, at the end of at the end of the fiscal year, we used 600,000.
Okay.
Thereabouts of that fund balance.
Yeah.
This
So it wasn't,
year-
it was not millions.
No, I think the audit refers to the T-Splost, using some of their fund balance and being in the negative.
Yeah, that's a totally
And doing-
separate
yeah,
account.
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
So,
That's not the department's misusing funds.
no.
Go ahead, I'm sorry I cut you off. You've had something else to say?
Nope.
Okay. Anyone else like to address the board? Hello? Come on up, Sharon. Tell us who you are.
All right, I'm Sharon Evans, and for those that don't know, I'm the appointed tax commissioner due to Carolyn Walker resigning this year due to health reasons. I'm sort of scared to get up here and say I'm a tax commissioner with all this, but I just wanted to go on record and say, you know, what a year. Between her resigning and the building and the challenges we faced, and, you know, I got the office back open in 1 week. We're working on rustic is what I call it, and I understand you're going to be picking the contractor tonight to start that. Thank
Yes.
goodness. So, but we, you know, our team, we're working good together. But I want to go on record and say all the cars do not belong to the tag office out in the car. I have none. We have none that's under our budget. So I know everybody kept saying tag office. I wanted to defend that, and to just let the public know that I'm there. I'm trying to, you know, keep it all together. I will be, you know, be on the election in November. And another thing, you know, people are coming into the office and they don't know about the destruction that happened with the flood. So I want to go on record and saying I did not destroy the office as soon as I got in there, and that your tax dollars are not being used used to reconstruct it. I am not remodeling to my house things, because I've had that said to me many times, but
my.
I will appreciate the effort to get it started and get going, but, I just want to introduce myself, and I hope that all the challenges are out of the way for this year, but, I'm up for it, whatever comes. So.
Well, you're doing a great job, Sharon. Thank
And
you
I
very
do
much.
want to say one more thing about my budget, and I'm not defending or criticizing anybody, but this was my first budget ever, being thrown in March. I will tell you how my budget, I can only tell you how my budget was handled. It was a new system. The board did meet with me. They criticized and went through every line item, and Christian met with me again, and we went through every line item to make sure that I understood, and my budget's under budget from last year, so I don't want
Thank
to,
you.
I want to go on record saying that.
We have several under budget, actually, so. Okay, anybody else would like to speak? Tell us your name and where you live, please. And
Nathan Gibson, Flintstone, Georgia, or, well, of course, Georgia. This is probably a stupid question, might have been answered already, but, what's going on with, human waste coming from off the mountain from Macklemore? I know that they're saying that they're addressing that, or is the county gonna be involved in?
That's the state EPD.
That's state, so
State EPD.
like, but I know that we were involved in that, we weren't?
Not the Walker County Wastewater had contracted employees that have been there that they hired from Dade County that have now, they're ending their contract with them. So they ran their own facility.
Yeah.
John might can speak on it a little bit. This was the information I was given when I started looking into it, that they have a permit with EPD. They oversight that. The county has nothing to do with that.
So
Neither does the Walker County Water Sewers. They do have contracted employees that operate their system.
I can add that, Payne Gilly has reached out to EPD on behalf of the county just this week.
Okay.
So that's
But
and that's
they-
only because it's run, it could potentially have effect on our residents, but we are not doing anything with Macklemore. That's private business.
Yeah, but I mean, they've like failed compliance, I don't know how many times now, right?
I don't
And
know. That's like he said, that's state level oversight. County doesn't have oversight over that private property,
Yeah, I mean,
that private business.
but who decided that it was, who decided that it was cool for them to be up there and put that in and like?
That's been up there for years.
Oh, I know it's been up there for years, but I mean, that was a zoning thing, right? That was the county.
I don't think it got
That was-
rezoned. It wasn't rezoned.
It had to be inspected, right? I mean, it was like, the county was like pretty much saying
John,
that.
would you help add to that, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So, Macklemore is governed through EPD. Anything over 10,000 gallons per day is governed by the state. They actually have an SB 50 permit. 50% of that is treated, and then for irrigation, the other 50 is actually dumped. The current situation there, they do have issues that been in contact. We had a meeting this morning with environmental health as well as Payne Gilly. We will be doing water sampling down creek as well, down Crow's Gap.
Great.
In those areas tomorrow
Okay.
to see, to test for E. coli, fecal matter and whatnot, just to protect the county as well. But that is 100% governed and regulated by Georgia EPD.
So all their
Nor the
permitting-
county, nor the water authority. Like Mr. Wilson said, there was, I think, a contract, I can't speak on that, the specifics, but Brandon had employees up there, I think, contracted, which that has since expired. Macklemore is governing that, but that is through Georgia EPD, not through the county.
Right. So all their original permitting was through the state?
That's correct.
Okay.
And they're governed by the state. As environmental health put it, which they regulate the wastewater in our county, in groundwater waste, that is EPB's baby. They govern every aspect of it. Now, we will be testing the creeks in the county because we are responsible for that.
Yes.
And so we are going to do that just to make sure nothing got polluted or any state waters were damaged due to that.
And we have notified EPD that we're doing that.
Absolutely.
Yes, okay. Thank you for that.
So the state came in and said that it was okay for them to come in up there and do all that. I mean, it's kind of awkward, right?
That was many years ago, so I'm
Yeah.
guess, the
I mean-
state would, the
I
state would
mean,
have all those records is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, it's kind I don't know, it seems like kind of a bad place to do all that, especially them put in a hotel. You know, where did they expect all that to go?
Be a good question for them.
I mean, yeah, as the saying goes, it does go downhill, and we're catching it at the bottom.
That's why we're taking action about that now, so, yep.
All right.
How long did it go unchecked?
Yeah, how long did it go unchecked?
It was not even 5 days, and that had him spilled out of, onto Walker. We don't know if it's got on Walker County property. We don't even know. But when it got announced, we acted immediately. EPD is slow to respond, but we acted immediately, so.
Didn't it fail like 1 month? And then it failed like the next month? I might be wrong. I don't know. It's in your district, Gene.
Yeah, I know it is. But the EPD, it don't have nothing to do with it, so I don't have all that information. I hadn't talked to the EPD.
Can you? Huh?
Point of order, Mr. Chair. Point of order.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you'll have to come, Tori, you'll have to come to the podium and ask your question, okay?
All right. So it's on the state.
McLemore's is,
Yeah.
Yes.
But they were in charge. They were governing themselves.
but, well, I
They're
can't say that.
operating
because-
their own wastewater treatment plant. They have their own wastewater treatment plant.
Permit, but they had a
operate.
permit, yeah.
That was permitted through the state.
Rich people were in charge of themselves. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Tori, do you want to come ask your question?
Ms. Teams, I wasn't even going to get up this evening, but I think where we can help clear everybody's consternation is this. I'm Brian Edwards,
Yeah.
live in Chickamauga, or live in the Cove. I should say the Cove. But here's the issue, yes. McLemore is governed by the EPD. I've spoken with those folks 8 times. I've spoken with Mr. Manny Patel 7, Miss Welke, 9 times, Miss Welke at least twice. Yes, the EPD does govern them. But, however, when the moratorium takes effect, and this is in black and white, I've got the EPD, but don't have it with me. It's at home. We are the ones who say whether they can build or not, because we are the ones that issue the building permits.
Yeah, they're not. John is
Right,
already confirmed.
but you're gonna help everybody out here if you tell them, yeah, EPD is the one who they get the permits from. But the ones who stop them from building
Yes.
is us. And so we have that part of the governing situation of it. So that would help everybody's
They
tensions
can't
out
build,
here.
yes.
They can't build unless we give them the building permit, and that's where McLemore is policed, so to speak, from that aspect. APD has to give the permits, but we're the ones that have to police it in the sense by issuing or not issuing building permits. So if we tell them that, everybody's probably got their tensions eased a little bit, you know.
Thank you.
John can clarify that, but John was sent, once the state said they put the moratorium, no building, he was notified, and that has been notified in his office. There's no permits. They're not allowed to
That's
do
correct.
anything.
There's no more development, including both golf courses at this time.
They can't even
They'll have
put
to
a HUD
get
on
with
the
design
golf course.
professionals. They're gonna have to redesign, the system, and then once that's approved and working efficiently, then they'll lift the moratorium. But right now, there's no more permits or building structures on that property.
Got it. Thank you.
All right, next. Hi.
Hey, my name's Luke Harvey. I live in Chickamauga, right outside the city limits within the county. Compared to budget deficits, all that, this is very small potatoes. But my family and I, we were really pumped when the connector trail was put in, the bike trail that goes from the battlefield to downtown. Chickamauga. Just because that's like one thing, we spend most of our life in downtown Chickamauga at the library. We got 3 young girls, so we're at the library doing rec sports, all that great stuff. So I was really excited when the connector trail was put in. I was like, my property taxes, this is good. You know, I was pumped. The next couple months, we just didn't really see anybody on them. And I was kind of wondering, I was like, nobody really uses these from what I can tell. And we go in the morning, we go in the evening, you know, we're there a good bit. And so the other day, I threw all the girls in the bike, and I was like, let's try it. And I don't know if y'all have tried it yet, but it's pretty terrifying, to put it lightly. I'm glad, and again, I don't say this, you know, facetiously. I'm very glad there is a bike trail, and I'm gonna use it a lot. I think, because we were going, and the whole time, you know, Osborne Road by itself is, you know, the white line to the grass is maybe 2 inches, and then for most of the bike trail, there is, and I'm not exaggerating, maybe 24 inches of grass, and then the bike trail. You know, so when you're riding on that bike trail, and I had a girl in the front and a girl in the back, and we were pedaling, they were talking to me about what books they were going to get, you know, and I could stick my hand out and slap the mirror of a Gordon Lee student just hauling, you know.
Are you talking about on the road in the city limits?
No, I'm talking about going down Osborne Road on the connector trail.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
not
on the
road, right, not the trail. It is the trail, but you're not the trail we made.
The sidewalk.
Road, yeah.
Well, I think it's the sidewalk that was paved,
Yeah.
correct? For this.
So you're talking about the sidewalk?
Talking about
on
the sidewalk. So the trail goes from
Yeah.
the battlefield, connects to a sidewalk that goes all the way down Osborne Road, and then you go through a neighborhood to get downtown. So my main request is just that if there was any way to put some kind of guardrail or some kind of, even a curb, you know, just something that, because, you know, people fly down Osborne Road, they're on their phones, and, you know, I'm not even a big road biker, but you know, it takes one person just to go over about, you know, 2 feet. And again, it sounds like an exaggeration, but it's really not. And I'm a teacher, so I'm not worried about the finer things in life. But just having a guardrail, something there that if somebody does swerve, you know, we're not having a meeting about, you know, somebody got killed because we didn't quite go all the way and put a guardrail there to protect them. So
I don't think that's small potatoes at all when you're talking about children's lives.
yeah, as of now, it's not, right? You know, as of now, I feel like it is, but it won't be.
No,
So
I'm glad
that's
you brought
my
that to our
request.
attention. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
thank y'all.
Thanks. All right, next. We still are in public comment. We have,
Scott McNabb, District 1. I guess since we're talking about kiddos right now, I guess I don't really know where to start. I watched it open, the splash pad in Rossville. It seemed to be going to be a great thing. The kids started busting their noggins on the slick surface. They went in there. I've watched them for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sandblasting, getting it cleaned up, getting it ready, but we're still without water. So there again, face, whatever you want to call it. I read a post where the guys have done their work on the concrete. They're going to reseal it or repaint it, whatever. And now we're hearing about a water tank. What happened with some water tank? Do we know?
it's not a tank. The center feature in that water, in the splash pad, is a bucket that fills up with water and dumps.
I saw that.
And the plumbers or whoever the contractors were that put the plumbing in for that feature, that one particular feature, did not tie it in appropriately to the filter system. So when rainwater gets into our filter system, it ruins I don't know if it's called PF, so whatever that pH of the water. And
So
you cannot let
next
people
year,
in the
maybe?
pH. You cannot let people in the water if it's not safe.
Okay. So when are we anticipating? I mean, this is a $2.5 million project. It was,
Yep.
everybody wants to
It
say
is-
free money. It's not free.
Mr.
Darn it.
Wilson can attest to this. This is the most frustrating thing for the county as well, because we wanted to provide something nice for the
Well, the kids
people.
are up there right now sweating.
And-
Give them some yard hydrants. I mean, my dad, when I was a kid, we used to have one of those little sprinklers out in the front yard. Give them something.
Well,
Put some water hoses up there.
the Civic Center doesn't even have a water pad either, but it's the park itself is very
We've
nice.
got it. Let's
And
fix it. I mean, we're in almost 2 months now.
I will tell the contractor you said that.
Well, somebody,
Along with every
whoever's in charge
weekly
of
meeting I
following
have with
up,
them.
let's get it fixed.
We are following up almost
It's going to
daily
be
now.
next summer before it's fixed, and I don't think that's fair to the citizens of Rossville, or the kids anyway.
Thank you. Next.
Trust me, I'm as frustrated as he is.
I'm Ned Yates. This may seem disorganized because it is. Off the top of my head, I've got kind of 4 topics. You'll have to take each one of them individually because they're disjointed, to say the least. First off, you know, Madam Chairman, you ran on truth, transparency, and accountability. We had these town halls that I know they had to cost us something. Well, I went to one, but you didn't show up. No one. I was there in Fairland. Nobody was there. No notice. It's kind of crazy to me. It doesn't sound logical, but you forgot about it, I guess. I don't know. The next thing is the moratorium on the data centers. 30 days is a joke. It's just smoke and mirrors to distract us. The other thing with the circumstances with the affluent at Macklemore, yes, I understand the Georgia Department of Environmental Protection has to deal with that with the permitting. But I have a problem with, Madam Chairman, you've kind of intimated you really don't know much. Well, you're on the Walker County Water Authority. You should know more than you apparently do know. I don't know. The other thing is Rossville. That's the 4th thing. I don't have a good memory because I haven't looked at it. This is coming out top of my head. I know we re-roofed both the Rossville gym and the band room in the last year and a half, 2 years, I don't know, within the end of Shannon's administration. I don't know for sure. My memory says something on the order of $600,000 spent on those 2 roofs. Well, that's nice. I've heard a figure quoted that we're going to sell those 2 buildings plus 13 acres for $12 a square foot, and 13 acres is included with that, besides just the buildings. At $100 a square foot, it's about 50-something thousand square feet. That's that amount of money, and we've spent. My memory may not be correct. $600,000 on roofs. So, just a kind of common sense tells me that you're going to give the 2 buildings away with brand new roofs on them and 13 acres. You're accountable to the citizens. You're appointed by election, and you're supposed to be the chief executive officer. What kind of oversight have you done? It doesn't appear you've done any. Thank you.
I want to be clear about something. I cannot sell property on my own. It is a board decision. I'm sorry that I'm talking. It is a board decision. The 5 of us make these decisions. So it is not all on Angie. And the other thing, Fairland was canceled at least 2 weeks on Facebook. I know myself that Joe announced that. If you were the only one there, everybody else got the message. So, next.
Joe did not announce it because I looked.
Next.
No one, you did not show.
Is anyone else going to speak tonight? Going once? Going twice? No more? All right, we're moving on to the consent agenda then. Unless the board needs a break. Does the board want a 5-minute recess? Yes?
No, finish it. You gotta go.
I'm good.
I'm good. Let's roll.
Let's roll it.
Okay. We're rolling. The consent agenda is a special rule of order providing for non-controversial matters to be considered by the board in gross or without debate or amendment. Should a board member direct any of the items that is in this consent list to be in the regular or the new business, we can remove it. So I'm hoping that the board had time to consider all of these 5 items. So I will make the motion to approve the 3 resolutions and the 2 grants for the Lookout Mountain Judicial Court. May I have a second? And then we can certainly discuss.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Hart.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any discussion about any item? I believe I talked to a couple of y'all about some of them, so.
Yep.
All right, we'll go ahead and vote then. All agreeing to approve the 5 items in the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Yes, it passes. All 5 pass. Thank you very much. Okay. Now we are at new business. This is where the commissioners consider the new business. Hang on one second, let me catch my notes up here. All right. The first one to be considered is the adoption of ordinance O-01-26, amending Chapter 22 of the Walker County Code regarding land development regulations. We can do our vote, and then we can have a discussion, and John is here to answer questions if the board has any. May I have a motion from the board, please?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Blakemore. Is there a second motion, please?
Second.
Mr. Hart?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there any discussion? Does the board have any questions that John can probably answer?
No, ma'am. I've
All
read
right.
over it thoroughly and talked to John about it.
Great. Then, all in favor of approving the adoption of the new ordinance amendments, the amendment to the ordinance, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right, it is 100% unanimous to pass the language there. Thank you, John, for your hard work on that. Right. Next one is, the next 2 are the ones that were approved at the beginning of this meeting to be moved to the next agenda, hopefully. So we'll pass on 16.2 and 16.3 and go to 16.4, Resolution R-053-26, establishing a temporary moratorium on data centers. And I had previously stated what our process is for that. I don't mind to reread that again if the board thinks I need to. Otherwise, I'll ask for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Mr. Wilson, first motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Blakemore, is there any more discussion that's necessary from the board?
Just to be clear, so we do have a 30-day moratorium, but at the end of that 30 days, we're going to add 180 days, and that's the way our council told us we needed to do it.
Correct.
So we've got a 7-month moratorium in effect before we put this out there. And there will be 2 public meetings prior to that, but John and several people in the community come to John and talk to him about it. So
Yes,
we're taking all input, and we want to make sure that we do the right thing on these. So
that's right.
I've been engaged with that quite a bit.
I'm trusting the process that we'll
Yes.
have enough time to research everything we need to research.
Yes, ma'am.
Luckily, our council is very well versed in this subject. so-
Yes. He has. Yes.
All right, all in favor to approve the establishment of this temporary moratorium, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right, so moved with 100% approval. Next one is Resolution R-054-26, to direct the sale of certain county-owned real property, tax map and parcel number 2007032. May I have a motion from the board on this? And I can add some background on the discussion part, if I can get a motion.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Hart. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. All right, so what we plan to do is, this is well, it's not odd, it's a big, I think it's 4 acres. Can't remember if it's 4 or 3. We're gonna put it up for sealed bid, so we will seek offers from interested purchasers, that being the method to generate the highest and best offer. The Board of Commissioners will review, and if a majority should agree, acceptance by the county and the purchaser shall enter into a purchase and sale agreement. So we have a motion to, is there any questions from the board for me, though?
No.
All right, we have, Mr. Hart made the motion to approve, Mr. Wilson seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right, motion passes. Thank you. Next is the purchase order, 2026-00002086 in the amount of $60,534.90 to Standby Solutions LLC for the purchase of a generator for the Walker County Sheriff's Office. This will replace a very, very old generator. May I have a motion from the board, please?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Blakemore. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Askew. Thank you. All right, any discussion about this?
Yes, ma'am. So this is replacing an older generator.
Yes.
And where do these funds come from?
These will be funds.
The man right there.
Oh, hi, Curtis. Yeah, please come forward.
Are these
The 2020 splash money.
From the
2020.
This ain't the emergency grant that you got,
No,
right?
it's separate for that. The funds out of the 2020 splash, and there's funds available for it.
Okay. Very good.
And
Thank you.
it's due to age, and then there's a lot of components and parts on that transfer switch and the generator that's obsolete, and they're no longer available. And that's a critical facility for us.
Okay, very good.
That-
Thank you.
Appreciate that. May I then have a vote? I'm sorry.
Grant too.
Is there any more discussion?
No, sorry.
Okay. No, you're fine. Okay, then may I have a vote then? All in favor for Mr. Blakemore's motion and Mr. Askew's second to approve this purchase of the generator? All say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right, motion passes. All right, purchase order 2026-00002112 in the amount of $31,800 to M&W Investments for repairs at the Cedar Grove Community Center.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Blakemore, was that you? Thank you, sorry. I can add that the repairs for this are coming out of the maintenance budget, Stacy's budget.
Okay.
It's not capital, so it can't be splossed.
Right.
Okay, all in
Okay.
favor, any other questions about that? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right, 100% approval for that. And the last one is purchase order 2026-00002163 in the amount of $295,521.59 to Blue Sky Restoration Contracts for emergency repairs at the Walker County Tax Commissioner's Office. And as our note says there, we have a $5,000 deductible that will be paid when the service is finished. But our insurance is covering a large majority of that. So.
$290,000 of it.
Right, that's right.
Okay.
May I have a motion, and then we can discuss further if we need to.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Is it Mr. Blakemore? I'm so sorry. I apologize, Mr. Rescue. Is there a second? Mr. Blakemore? All right, any other discussion about it?
So are we gonna have to cut them the money and be reimbursed by the insurance company? Is that why we're having to approve the entire PO? Since it's covered under insurance, or should we not?
Yeah,
So we have to pay them and get reimbursed by
but they
ACCG?
know about it. ACCG knows.
I know that, but I'm just trying to figure out, we gotta pay out and being reimbursed. Is that why we're having to approve that? Okay, that's why we're having to approve.
We write a check for $295, get a check back for $290.
Yes,
Is a check come back at the end of construction?
yes. It'll have to be completed. And they oversee it though, ACCG, their adjuster oversees it.
And I looked through this. This was the only bid that was included. I'm assuming they did a bid process.
They did, and there was 3 of them.
Okay.
And this was the lowest one, and
Okay.
they are offering that to us.
Yes.
And so that's
Okay.
why it's
That's
before
what I
you.
thought.
Insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I'm good.
I thought ACCG was handling all that, but.
Yeah, this is just, because we have to pay it first, we have to do this, so.
Yeah.
Okay, to recap, Mr. Askew made the motion to approve the emergency repair cost. Mr. Blakemore made a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, that one is approved. All right, now we are at commissioner comments. Mr. Blakemore, take it
I'm
away.
gonna defer to Mr. Askew.
Deferring to Mr. Askew? Okay.
Well, as always, I thank everybody for coming out. I want to thank our employees for all the hard work that they do. Appreciate the input from everybody, whether we agree or disagree. And I'd like to wish a very happy birthday to my youngest son, Lloyd, who's 36 years old today.
That means you're pretty old.
I'm real old.
And he's an assistant chief, is that right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So Mr. Hart?
Yeah, so just a reminder that your local farmers markets are still going. We actually had a dinner at the Civic Center this week. Sarah Kruger and her staff put that on. It was Cindy Askew, no relation to Mark, I don't think, but cooked all the food with local farmers groups. So those guys, they're active in the Rock Springs Farmers Market on Wednesdays and here in Lafayette on Saturdays. So check them out. Thank you.
I bet that was good. Cindy's a good
It
cook.
was really good. Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Appreciate all the first responders. I know that it's hot out there when they get on calls, but appreciate all the road crew and everybody working during the storms last week. Last Friday, I know it got pretty
Yes.
Very
pretty
good.
rough.
Yeah.
I know it did on the north end of the county.
It was.
So appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Is there a need for executive session tonight?
No.
All right, then I will announce that we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.